What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Monday, August 7th. It is game week, preseason game week number 1. We got the Cleveland Browns. We're going to travel to Cleveland to the Dog Pound to see them on Friday, and I'm excited. I know I know, guys. You don't got to tell me it's just a preseason game, nothing to get excited about. Well, guess what? I get excited about it because it's the first time I get to watch our guys take the field. The first time I get to see Eric Bieniemy's offense. It's going to be a Manila version of the offense, but I imagine there will be a wrinkle or two that we would not normally see during the preseason because we got to get a litmus test of what this offense is. So I expect Sam Howell and these boys to get a little bit of work on Friday. But today was a light practice. No pads today. I imagine they're going to alternate pads, no pads, and they're going to take it easy this week because it's going to model what an actual game week feels like. So they took it easy today. The only thing really from practice that was jarring or newsworthy was Jacoby Brissett finally got his first reps with the first team unit today. He got the run with Terry, Curtis Samuel, Dotson, and those boys today. He took, I believe, 2 series of reps with the starters. I don't think it's a big deal, but they are technically in a quote-unquote, throw your bunny ears, quarterback competition. So the veteran has to, like Ron said, get to know these guys a little bit and build some rapport, get his relationships established with those guys. But I don't really think there's too much to take account for that happened at practice today. I think the crux of what took place today and what is going to be fun to talk about is the depth chart, because I love it when the depth charts come out around this time because people lose their minds over them. Include me and people, because me and the group chat, we like to pick and prod certain things that we see in the first unofficial depth chart. Keyword being unofficial, because none of this shit is set in stone, but what it does is it gives you an idea of what the coaches are thinking of what's currently on the roster and the pecking order of how players are put in position. I'm excited. Oh, and Troy Apke's on the IR for right now. You know, August legend Troy Apke, and we signed a safety, Joshua Kalu, formerly of the Tennessee Titans. He played 494 snaps last year for the Titans. Position flex guy. He has the safety corner versatility, special teams ability as well, and I believe he had like a 93.7 run tackle grade, some shit like that. I don't get too much into the pie chart analytics of things, but if you're into that sort of thing, he grades well in some categories. I imagine he's just here to be an August body, but he has the experience and the position flex that if we needed to call on him, we'd call on him. But let's dive into what we're here for right now. Washington's first unofficial depth chart. And not too many things jump straight out at you when you look at it, but then there are certain positions it's like, okay, that guy's not in a spot there I thought he was going to be. And for me, the first one that jumps out is rookie center Ricky Stromberg. Is it because he's a rookie, or is it because he looks like he's the third best center in camp right now? 3rd round pick Ricky Stromberg is currently the number 3 center behind Nick Gates and Tyler Larson. Tyler Larson is here for security. He's our emergency center. So seeing Ricky Stromberg at number 3, that's interesting. I wonder if it shakes out that way once the preseason games start. Another, Braden Daniels is the number 3 corner behind Charles Leno and Cornelius Lucas, who is our swing tackle extraordinaire. He is our spare tire tackle that when called upon, he does his job, but you do not want to have to play Cornelius Lucas for a long, extended period of time. Next thing that jumps out at me, Sadiq Charles, penciled in as the starter at left guard. I told you it wasn't going to last long. Chris Paul has been getting all the number 1 reps, and they've been kind of splitting him the last couple days because he has a calf. But Sadiq Charles, like death and taxes, is always on the injury report. It's something that we can guarantee every year with this team, is the injury report at some point will always say the name Sadiq Charles for whatever reason. And when he's on the field, it's not that impressive. I'm rolling with 7th. That's his R&B name if you don't know. I'm rolling with Chris Paul, the real Chris Paul in DC, not the one that got traded here and was traded back to another team a day later. I think Chris Paul wins the starting guard job. But the most interesting position on the offensive side of the ball is the wide receiver position. The wide receiver position, I think 4 guys are a definite lock for the roster. That is Terry, Jahan, Curtis Samuel, and Diami. Lock it up, put it in ink, put it on wax. Those 4 locks. After Diami, I think we're starting to get to a point where another 2 guys look like they may be roster locks as well. That's Byron Pringle and our favorite, Dax Milne. Our favorite punt returner ever, Dax Milne. Dax Milne is penciled in as the starting punt returner, and he's penciled in as wide receiver 6, and Byron Pringle is wide receiver 5. He has experience, he has speed, and he's played in Eric Bieniemy's offense for multiple years. So you can't knock that veteran experience. And he has burners, man. He just looks like he's on the roster. I think we may be set at receiver, and I think guys like Kazmir Allen and Mitchell Tinsley, they may be vying for practice squad roles at this point, but you never know. They could have a Marcus Mitchell type summer. You know, we always got an August legend that comes through and goes crazy in these preseason games. My biggest surprise on this offensive side is seeing Cole Turner listed as tight end 3 and seeing Kyrick McGowan listed before Kazmir Allen. Kazmir Allen's like wide receiver 10 on this depth chart. And for me, that's like alarming because that's a name they keep telling us. They keep saying over and over. They want us to know who he is. He's been getting run with the 1s, the 2s, the 3s. Seeing him under Kyrick McGowan is listed as like wide receiver 9. That is very interesting and alarming to me. I wonder if he'll stay there when these preseason games go. Like I said, we can take this first depth chart with a grain of salt, but it's very juicy. It's very interesting to dive into it. And, of course, the quarterback situation. Sam Howell, quarterback 1, like he's been all offseason. Jacoby Brissett, number 2. And number 3, Jake from State Farm, who we will be seeing a lot of in the preseason. And get your eyes prepared. I'm glad I can't see well because watching too much of Jake Fromm, it may make my stomach hurt. And then we go to the defensive side of the ball. There's not many surprises here other than I personally thought they would list Jartavius, a.k.a. Rich Homie Quan Martin, as the starting slot corner. But right now, they got Benjamin St. Juste starting in the slot with Emmanuel Forbes and Fuller starting on the outside. Nothing else is surprising. Jamin Davis and Cody Barton are your starting linebackers. Cody Barton is the Mike. He's the green dot wearing Mike inside linebacker we brought in from Seattle, 136 combined tackles, I believe 84 solo last year. I need him and Jamin both over 100 tackles this year. The safety pair, you already know, Curl and Forrest, and you already know the vibes with the defensive line. There are really no surprises that I see anywhere on this defense. Khalik and Mayo are the incumbent backups at the linebacker spot. Jartavius listed as a backup outside corner. I see that as a Ron designation. Quan is kind of the Swiss Army knife of the cornerback unit. He's going to pop up all over this defense, but they're just placing him there. St. Juste's backup on the first depth chart is Rashad Wild Goose. Forbes' backup is Danny Johnson. Curls is Jeremy Reeves, and Derek Forrest and Percy Butler. Is Percy Butler going to take that year 2 leap like Defoe did? Very interested. And then we move down to the specialists. According to Zach Selby and everybody who's been watching practice, Joey Sly looks way better than Michael Badgley, which is good. Maybe the competition is all Joey Sly needed to wake up at this point. But the returners, like I said, Dax Milne penciled in as the starting punt returner. His backup says Jahan Dotson. What that tells me is Jahan Dotson will be in emergency. We need a big play. We need a spark. We're going to put Dotson back there because we want something to happen. And then Gibson is your starting kick returner with Dax backing him up. Dax Milne got a spot on this roster, man. I know a lot of us don't want to hear that shit. Dax Milne a lock probably. He's a lock to make this roster unless somebody starts cribbing kicks in preseason. But I think our wide receiver room, when it comes down to week 1, as these practices get closer to the season, it's looking like it's going to be Terry, Samuel, and Jahan. De'Ami Brown, Dax Milne, and Byron Pringle. 6 receivers. Don't think they keep 7. They could keep 7 just to bring another guy on, but I think those are your 6. And I think Mitchell Tinsley and Casimir Allen, they're playing for spots on the practice squad at this point. Joey Sly, make your kicks and extra points in the preseason and be done with this kicking competition. You needed to have competition brought in, though. You needed that jolt of energy and that thing to get you going, because I don't need no more of what I saw last year. I want the local guys to stay, but they got to do their part on the field. Preseason game coming up in 4 days. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see our guys get after it. Hopefully they pick up the pace in the next couple of days in practice, but you know it is a game week. Let me know what you guys think of the first unofficial Washington Commanders depth chart of the 2023 season. That's all I got for right now. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio, out.